Hi, welcome to PhotoshopLightroomTV, another episode. I'm Marek Mularczyk from sitetraining.co.uk, and welcome to another week, another episode of PhotoshopLightroomTV. Now, this time I've got a Photoshop tutorial for you, okay? And we're actually going to have two Photoshop tutorials this week. I'm going to start off with a great, interesting feature in Photoshop that allows you to connect to other people, and you can show your designs with your colleagues or your clients, no matter where they are in the world. The only thing they need is the web browser and internet connection, and they can actually interact with you. They can see your Photoshop screen. This works with every Adobe application, not just Photoshop, so any Adobe Creative Suite application. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Let's jump into Photoshop. Here I am inside Adobe Photoshop, and I'm got this design here selected. And let's say I want to work with a client and I want to share it with a client over the internet. They don't need to have Photoshop. They just need the web browser and internet connection, and I will be able to interact with me using either webcam or just a keyboard. We can just type in the information over the internet. So I've got the design here open, and let's say I want to share it with a client. I want to see what they think about this design and what changes I'll need to make. So in Photoshop, I'll go to File, and then in File, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Share my screen uses Adobe Acrobat technology to share the screen with other information. Now I need to sign up with my Adobe account. So I'm just typing in details. Okay. They don't need Adobe account for that. They just need the web browser. I'm going to click on Sign In. I'm signing into acrobat.com services, and in just a moment this will open my web browser, and in the web browser I'll be able to select what I want to share with the client. Okay, so it's connecting to Adobe Connect now. This is free with up to 3 people, so I could invite 2 people, and I can send them this, I can give them this link, or I can also send email invitations. I can click on Send Email Invitation now and send an email using my email client with the link, so they can join me. Okay, I'm just going to cancel that, and I'll click Close. Now I can click on Share my computer screen in here, and what I want to share, I'm going to share the master PDFs Bridge Poster PSD. I'll click Share, and that's what they're going to see when they join me. Really great feature. So I'm in here, I'm a host. If anyone comes in, if they click on the link, I'll see the message asking if I want to allow them to enter, and we can start chatting here. They can start typing messages to me, or they can use their webcam or their microphone to talk to me with here. Okay, this is the quick overview of Connect Now within Adobe Photoshop, and more in the future episodes of Photoshop Lightroom TV. Okay, I'm Marek Mularczyk. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial in Photoshop using Adobe Connect to connect with the other clients or your customers. Now I've got another tutorial of Photoshop for you. This will be Refine Edge. Now Refine Edge in Photoshop CS5. Refine Edge in Photoshop CS5 has been greatly increased. It's so much better. It's been refined, and there's loads of really interesting features within Refine Edge in Photoshop CS5. So this will be Photoshop CS5 tutorial. I'll show you how to quickly and easily use Refine Edge to extract hair from the image. Okay, now let's have a look on that. Let's jump into Photoshop and let's look on Refine Edge. Okay, here I'm back in Photoshop, and this time I'm going to show you how to extract hair from the images. I've got this layer here with the complex hair extraction here, and I've got a background image. I want to put this girl on top of this image here. First of all, I'm going to double click on the background layer to convert it into a regular layer. I'll just accept the defaults, and I'll move this landscape behind. Okay, this will help me a lot later on in Refine Edge, and we'll talk about Refine Edge in CS5. First, I'm going to make a rough selection around the hair, the head. So I'm going to zoom in a bit, just so it's easier. Okay, and I'm going to create a quick selection around this girl. I'm going to start with Quick Selection tool, and I'll just click and drag, make this bigger, smaller, my brush, not going to worry too much about the selection here. Something like that, just to start with. And the arms as well. Okay, I'm mostly concerned about the top of her head. Okay, and I'll zoom in very close. Now, in the past, it was very difficult to extract hair in previous versions of Photoshop. Now, with the Refine Edge, I'm just going to click on Refine Edge. This has been redesigned. First of all, one of the options here, I'm just going to move to the left-hand side, is View on Layers. Or I could use Margin Ends, Overlay, on Black, on White, or just on Layers. So this looks not too bad. Okay. Now, here's what's new in Photoshop CS5. This edge detection. So I'm going to check Smart Radius. I'm going to increase the radius just a bit. You can see how it changes around the hair. And this is great, but there's even more. I've got this tool here, Refine Radius tool. With this Refine Radius tool, I can come here, click and drag to refine the edges. Even transparency in here. Now this is a fantastic new feature in Photoshop CS5. Okay, and I mean, it looks good. Now there's another new option here in CS5 and Refine Edge, output section. You can output it to selection, but also new layer with layer mask. That's great, and even new document, a new document with layer mask. In this case, I'm going to use new layer with layer mask, and I'll just press OK. And now I've got this lady on a new layer with layer mask. The layer 0 is hidden within Photoshop, and she's against the plain background. Fantastic new feature in Photoshop CS5, ladies and gentlemen. And that's how you use that in Photoshop CS5. I'm Marek Mularczyk, and thank you for watching this video tutorial on the new Refine Edge in Photoshop CS5. And this was Photoshop. This was Refine Edge in Photoshop CS5. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Marek Mularczyk from sitetrain.co.uk, and this is Photoshop Lightroom TV. Now we're almost done. Next week, I'm going to have a contest for you. There'll be some great prizes to win. There'll be a question, very difficult question, as we had before. And I'm going to have some more tips and tricks and tutorials for you. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching it. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you next week on another episode of Photoshop Lightroom TV. In the meantime, go to PhotoshopLightroomBridge.co.uk to get more tips and tricks and tutorials. This is PhotoshopLightroomBridge.co.uk. You find loads of interesting posts. I'm blogging every week, every day of the week. I'm posting on a blog. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next week of another episode of Photoshop Lightroom TV. Thank you for watching. I'm Marek Mularczyk, and I will see you back next week. Bye bye.